Welcome back, lifers, to another episode of Life Points with Rhonda. How much sway can an offhand comment hold? Can a casual remark alter the course of justice? Welcome to an intriguing examination of a case where such questions aren't merely hypothetical, but pivotally real. Former SC Supreme Court Justice Jean Toll was appointed to hear those allegations in full and determine if Murdo legally deserves a new trial. The hearing began Friday, January 26th, and continues today at the Richland County Judicial Center in Columbia. In the heart of Columbia, South Carolina, Alex Murdo found himself in the eye of a legal storm, standing accused of the murder of his wife and 22-year-old son. The verdict? Guilty. The twist? One of the jurors later testified that her decision was influenced not by the evidence, but by comments made by the clerk of court. The clerk in question, Rebecca "Becky" Hill, has been accused by Murdo and his attorneys of discussing the case with jurors and pressuring them to conclude deliberations quickly. This allegation is key to Murdo's quest for a new trial. The juror, identified as Juror Z, testified that Hill's remarks made her feel Murdo was already guilty. She heard Hill instruct her to watch his actions and to watch him closely. Juror Z also indicated that she felt pressure from the other jurors to vote for a guilty verdict despite her own doubts about Murdo's guilt. According to Juror Z, Hill even influenced the jury's perception of the defense's evidence. Before Murdo testified, Hill allegedly told the jurors not to be fooled by the defense, a comment that Juror Z interpreted as an indication that Murdo would lie. However, the plot thickens as every other juror questioned as part of an evidentiary hearing testified that their verdicts were not influenced by Hill. Two other jurors, Juror X and Juror P, also admitted to hearing comments made by Hill when Murdo took the stand to testify. But unlike Juror Z, they maintained that these comments did not sway their decision to convict. Hill, for her part, has consistently denied these allegations. In a signed affidavit, she refuted 26 specific accusations from Murdo's motion for a new trial. Hill acknowledged referring to the day of Murdo's testimony as a big day and telling the jurors to pay attention, but she likened her comments to a pep talk, insisting that they were not meant to favor one side over the other. The unusual hearing was prompted in part by a sworn statement from the first juror called to the stand Monday. She affirmed what she said last August, repeating Monday that Hill told jurors to note Murdo's actions and watch him closely when he testified in his own defense. She made it seem like he was already guilty, said the woman, identified only as Juror Z. Asked whether this influenced her vote to find him guilty, she said, "Yes, ma'am." In later questioning, the juror said she also stands by another statement she made in the August affidavit, that it was her fellow jurors, more than the clerk's statements, that influenced her to vote guilty. "I had questions about Mr. Murdo's guilt, but voted guilty because I felt pressured by other jurors," she said. After deliberating for about 3 hours, the jury convicted Murdo of murdering his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul, at the family's hunting estate in June 2021. Prosecutors argued that the killings were part of Murdo's scheme to distract from and delay investigations into his financial crimes, targeting his own clients and law firm. This case, wrapped in layers of suspicion and intrigue, raises thought-provoking questions about the influence of external factors on jury decisions. The rest of the jury filed in one by one and said their verdicts weren't influenced by anything outside the trial. One said he heard Hill say, "Watch his body language," before Murdo testified, but said Hill's comment didn't change his mind. What matters is what the jurors heard, and whether that persuaded them to change their verdicts to guilty in a way that was anything other than the product of honest deliberation, Prosecutor Creighton Walters said in closing. "You have 11 of them strong as a rock who said this verdict was not influenced," Walters said. "The evidence is overwhelming from the people who mattered." Defense attorney Jim Griffin, in his closing, cited case law in arguing that any communication about a case from court staff to jurors is presumptively prejudicial. He said the defense clearly proved Hill made prejudicial comments to the jury, And one of those jurors says it influenced my verdict. How is that not prejudice? It's a stark reminder that the pursuit of justice isn't always as straightforward as it seems. Regardless of the final outcome, the allegations, testimonies, and potential implications from this case will undoubtedly continue to spark conversations and debates in the legal world for years to come. The judge held the clerk of court made improper comments to the jury, but ruled the comments did not influence the verdict reached by the jury. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button.